Olivia Grant stared at her computer screen, rubbing her tired eyes as the strange pattern appeared again. For 3 nights straight, the same signal had been detected by Earth's Deep Space Monitoring Station. It wasn't random noise. It wasn't a glitch. It was structured and repeating, coming from somewhere in the Kuiper Belt. "I'm telling you, Frank, this is not natural," she said to her supervisor, who leaned against her desk, coffee in hand. Frank Mason shrugged. "Plenty of strange signals out there. Probably just interference from one of our own satellites." "No satellite broadcasts in this frequency pattern," Olivia argued, pointing to the screen. "And look at this mathematical sequence. It's too precise. Too intentional." The signal had first appeared during her regular monitoring shift at NASA's Deep Space Communications Center. Most days were filled with routine checks and false alarms, but this was different. The signal pulsed in groups of 7, with pauses that seemed to follow a specific pattern. As Frank walked away unconvinced, Olivia's phone buzzed. It was Daniel Harris from the linguistics department. "Did you see my email?" Daniel asked when she answered. "I ran your signal through the new algorithm. And it's not just structured, it's language. I'm sure of it." Olivia felt a chill run down her spine. "You mean?" "I mean someone or something is trying to communicate," Daniel replied. "And they're using mathematics as a foundation." Within hours, Olivia and Daniel were holed up in a conference room, surrounded by screens displaying the signal pattern. They worked through the night, applying various decoding methods to the transmission. "There," Daniel pointed excitedly at a pattern emerging on screen. "That sequence repeats every time before the signal changes." Olivia nodded, like a header in a data packet. By morning, they had decoded enough to confirm their suspicions. This was a message, a distress call, from something not of Earth origin. The NASA director's face was grim as Olivia and Daniel presented their findings to a hastily assembled group of government officials and scientists. "You're telling me there's an alien fleet stranded at the edge of our solar system?" Director Powell asked, her voice carefully controlled. "That's what the message indicates," Olivia confirmed. "They call themselves the Vrileth. From what we can tell, they're stuck and their systems are failing." Daniel displayed the translated portions of the message on the main screen. "Assistance required. Life support CRITCL. 12,000 souls aboard." The room erupted into arguments. Some officials insisted it was an elaborate hoax. Others demanded immediate military involvement. A few suggested ignoring the message entirely. "We need to respond," Olivia insisted above the noise. "Whatever they are, they're dying out there." As the debate raged, more signals arrived. Using their developing translation matrix, Olivia and Daniel worked to understand more of the alien situation. The Vrilith fleet, they learned, had been traveling for decades. Their homeworld was gone, destroyed by some catastrophe they wouldn't specify. Their massive ships were marvels of technology, but designed for specific conditions. Something in our solar system had damaged the propulsion and life support systems. Most surprising was their explicit request for human help. Not just any assistance, human assistance. "Why us?" Director Powell asked. "If they're advanced enough for interstellar travel, why do they need humans?" Daniel looked up from his notes. "They say humans possess something they lack. A quality they call adaptive problem-solving under constraint." "Meaning what?" someone asked. Olivia met the director's eyes. "They're saying we're good at improvising. At making something from nothing." She paused. "They're saying they detected our broadcasts years ago, but considered us too primitive to contact. Until now, when they had no other choice." The room fell silent as the implications sank in. Humanity's first contact with alien life wasn't a diplomatic greeting or a scientific exchange. It was a desperate call for help from beings who had nowhere else to turn. And somehow, humanity's perceived primitive nature was exactly what they needed. The news of alien contact spread quickly through government channels, though the public remained unaware. In a secure underground facility, Representatives from major nations gathered to establish a response plan. "We need to send a team," said Admiral Lisa Chen, pointing to the star map showing the Vrlith fleet's position. "This is humanity's chance to prove ourselves on the galactic stage." Not everyone agreed. Some argued for caution, others for isolation. "What if it's a trap?" General William Peters said, his voice echoing in the conference room. "We'd be sending our people into unknown danger." But after 3 days of debate, the decision was made. Earth would respond to the aliens' call for help. Commander Sam Blackwell was having breakfast when his secure phone rang. Within hours, he found himself briefed on the existence of extraterrestrial life and offered command of humanity's first interstellar rescue mission. "Why me?" he asked Director Powell. "Because you led the Antarctic rescue operation last year," she replied. "Saved 15 scientists with nothing but damaged equipment and your wits. The Vrlith need exactly that kind of thinking." The science vessel Endeavour was quickly prepared for the mission. Originally designed for Mars missions, it was the most advanced ship Earth had available. Engineers worked around the clock to adapt it for the longer journey to the Kuiper Belt. Olivia and Daniel joined the crew as communication specialists. Kate Wilson, a mechanical engineer with experience in extreme environments, was brought on to lead the technical team. Her partner, Alex Martinez, specialized in power systems and joined as well. "I never thought I'd be helping aliens fix their spaceships," Kate said during their first team meeting. "I've never even been to space." Sam looked around at his crew, scientists, engineers, medical personnel, and a small security team. "None of us were trained for this, but that's why they called humans, isn't it? We adapt." The Endeavour launched under the cover story of a scientific mission to study distant comets. Only a handful of people on Earth knew their true purpose. As they pushed beyond Mars, the crew trained intensively, studying the Vrlith communications and preparing for every scenario they could imagine. During the journey, Olivia made a breakthrough in the translation matrix. "I think I understand more of their message now," she told the others during dinner in the ship's common area. "The Vrlith aren't just running low on resources. Their entire biological system is integrated with their ships." "What does that mean?" Sam asked. "It means their ships aren't just transportation. They're extensions of the Vrlith themselves. If their ships die," Daniel finished her thought, "they die too." The mood aboard the Endeavour grew more serious as they approached the coordinates. The mission was no longer just about first contact. It was about preventing a mass extinction. On the 42nd day of their journey, long-range sensors detected the alien fleet. The crew gathered on the bridge, staring in awe at the images appearing on screen. Thousands of massive ships drifted in formation. They resembled giant crystalline snowflakes, each unique but following the same basic pattern. Some appeared dimmer than others, with sections completely dark. "My God," whispered Sam, "there must be millions of them." Olivia studied the readings. According to their communications, each ship houses thousands of individuals. This is an entire civilization. As the Endeavour approached, they received new transmissions from the Vrlith. The aliens' message was simple: "Gratitude for your coming. Time remains short. Life systems failing on outer vessels." Sam looked at his crew, their faces showing a mixture of fear and determination. "Send our response. Tell them we're here to help and request docking instructions." The Endeavour moved forward, a tiny human ship approaching the immense alien armada. Humanity's first interstellar rescue mission had begun, and no one knew if their primitive human ingenuity would be enough to save a dying alien civilization. The Endeavour docked with the largest ship in the Vrlith fleet, connecting to what appeared to be an airlock designed for visiting species. As the pressure equalized, Sam ordered his team to suit up. "Helmets stay on until we confirm the atmosphere is safe," he instructed, checking Olivia's suit seals himself. "Daniel, keep the translation device ready. Kate, Alex, observe everything about their technology, but touch nothing yet." The airlock cycled open, revealing a corridor that seemed to be made of living crystal. The walls pulsed with a soft blue light that followed their movements. "It's responding to us," Olivia whispered, watching the patterns shift as they walked. At the end of the corridor, the passage widened into a vast chamber. The human team stopped, speechless at the sight before them. The Verleth stood nearly 9 feet tall. Their bodies were semi-transparent, with crystalline structures visible beneath skin that shimmered like mother-of-pearl. They had no mouths, but centers of light pulsed within their chests when they communicated. "Welcome, Earthborn," came a voice through their translation device. "Ion Zenith Cord, voice of the collective." Olivia stepped forward. "We received your distress call. We've come to help." The tall being lowered itself slightly. "Many doubted you would come. Others believed humans would destroy us in our weakness. Your arrival brings hope." Daniel adjusted the translator, working to improve the connection. "Your message said you're dying. What happened to your fleet?" The chamber darkened as Zenith Cord explained. The Verleth were a collective species, linked mentally across their entire civilization. Their homeworld had been destroyed by a cosmic event they called the Shattering. The fleet, carrying every surviving member of their species, had traveled for decades seeking a new home. "We entered your system seeking elements found on your world," Zenith Cord explained, "but encountered a radiation field that damaged our biomechanical systems. We cannot repair ourselves. We cannot adapt quickly enough." The alien's light dimmed further. "Without help, our collective will cease in 90 Earth days." Sam removed his helmet after readings confirmed the atmosphere was safe. "Show us what needs fixing," he said simply. The Verleth led them deeper into the ship. As they walked, Kate noticed something strange about the technology. Everything was perfectly designed, with not a single redundant part or backup system. "Where are your repair facilities?" she asked. Zenith Cord's light flickered in confusion. "Repair? Our systems do not break. They are perfect." "But they're broken now," Alex pointed out. "Yes. This is unprecedented. We have no protocol for this failure." Kate exchanged looks with Alex. "You mean you've never had to fix anything before?" "Our technology evolves with us. It does not fail." The humans began to understand. The Verleth had evolved such perfect technology that they never developed the ability to improvise repairs or work around problems. They had no concept of backup systems or jury-rigging solutions. They reached the central chamber where thousands of crystal formations connected to the walls. Each contained a sleeping Verleth. "These are in stasis to conserve energy," Zenith Cord explained. "Many will never awaken if we cannot restore power." Olivia watched the aliens with growing wonder. "Your message said you specifically needed humans. Now I understand why. Your technology is far more advanced than ours, but you've never needed to make something work with limited resources." "Correct," the alien responded. "We observe your species for many cycles. You constantly fail, break things, and then create unpredictable solutions. This capacity is foreign to us." Sam stepped forward. "Then let's get started. Our unpredictable solutions are exactly what you need." As they began examining the ship's systems, the cultural gap became more apparent. The Verleth thought as one mind, while humans continuously argued about different approaches. What seemed chaotic to the aliens was actually the humans' greatest strength: diverse thinking attacking a problem from multiple angles. By the end of their first day aboard, Kate had already identified 3 potential ways to restore power to the critical systems using materials they had brought from Earth. The Verleth watched in fascination as the humans argued, sketched crude diagrams, and proposed solutions that seemed completely illogical to their perfect minds. Kate Wilson stood in what the Verleth called their energy distribution center, examining the crystalline structures that channeled power throughout the massive ship. Alex worked beside her, taking measurements with equipment they had brought from Earth. "This is incredible," Kate said, shaking her head in amazement. "Their technology doesn't use electricity or combustion. It's some kind of crystalline resonance." Alex nodded. "Perfect efficiency." No waste heat, no backup systems. He looked up from his tablet. Also no redundancy. No way to reroute power if something fails. 3 days had passed since their arrival. The human team had split into groups to assess different systems throughout the fleet. What they discovered was both fascinating and troubling. It's like they designed everything to work perfectly in ideal conditions, Kate said, but they never planned for the unexpected. Sam entered the chamber with Zenith cord floating silently behind him. What's the verdict? Kate pointed to a series of darkened crystals. Their main power distribution network is damaged by the radiation they encountered. The crystals can't resonate properly. Can we fix it? Sam asked. Not with their methods, Alex replied, but we might have another way. He explained their idea to use earth metals to create a conductive bypass around the damaged sections. It wasn't elegant or perfect. It would waste energy and require regular maintenance, but it might work long enough to get the fleet moving again. Zenith Cord's light pulsed rapidly. This solution is chaotic, inefficient. But will it work? Sam asked. The alien hesitated. Perhaps. We would never consider such an approach. That's why you called humans, Kate said with a smile. Back on the Endeavor, the team gathered to share their findings. Olivia and Daniel had been working with the Vrillith to understand their navigation systems, while others had examined life support and propulsion. Their ships are partially alive, Olivia explained. The Vrillith evolved in a symbiotic relationship with these crystalline structures. They're not just passengers. They are connected to their vessels, which explains why they can't simply abandon ship, Daniel added. Over the next week, the humans began implementing their improvised solutions. They used copper wiring to bypass damaged power conduits. They rigged pumps from the Endeavor to move coolant through overheating sections. They even used basic aluminum foil to reflect and amplify the weakening light in the stasis chambers. The Vrillith watched in what seemed like horrified fascination. You are attaching your primitive metals to our perfect systems, one observer named Echo Pulse commented as Kate soldered a connection. Yep, Kate replied without looking up. It's ugly, but it works. How did you know this would function? Kate shrugged. I didn't. It was an educated guess. This concept, testing unproven solutions, was completely foreign to the Vrillith. Their entire civilization had evolved toward perfection, eliminating error and uncertainty. They had never needed to improvise. The breakthrough came on the 10th day. Alex had been working on the propulsion system, trying to understand why the ships couldn't move beyond their current position. It's the navigation crystals, he explained to the others. They're aligned to specific star patterns. When those patterns changed due to their drift into our solar system, the whole system shut down. Can we recalibrate them? Sam asked. Not without their home star as reference. But, Alex grinned, we can trick them. Using projectors from the Endeavor, the team created an artificial star field that mimicked the Vrillith's reference points. It wasn't perfect, but it was enough to convince the navigation system to function again. When the first ship's engines hummed back to life, Zenith Cord's glow brightened dramatically. You succeeded using methods we would never have conceived, the alien said to Sam. This is why we called humans. Later, as Kate and Alex worked on another ship, they overheard two Vrillith discussing them. Their thinking is so disordered, one said. They argue constantly. They try solutions that often fail. Yes, replied the other. And yet they have saved 3 ships already. Perhaps disorder has advantages we never understood. Kate smiled to herself. Humanity's greatest strength wasn't their technology or knowledge. It was their comfort with chaos, their willingness to fail and try again. The very quality the perfect Vrillith had never needed. Until now. The alarms blared without warning. Red light washed through the corridors of the Vrillith mothership. The human team had been working for 2 weeks, slowly restoring systems across the alien fleet. Progress had been steady, with 12 ships now functioning at minimal capacity. But something had gone terribly wrong. What's happening? Sam demanded, grabbing the nearest communication device to reach zenith cord. The alien's voice came through, strained and flickering. Central core destabilizing. Energy cascade approaching critical levels. Kate and Alex rushed to the energy distribution center, following the pulsing lights that grew increasingly erratic. What they found sent chills down their spines. The crystalline core was fracturing, lines spreading across its surface like cracks in ice. "The bypass we installed is overloading," Alex said, checking readings on his tablet. "The power flow is too strong for our materials." Olivia's voice came through their comms. "The Vrillith are evacuating this ship. They say we have less than 30 minutes before total failure." "If this ship goes," Kate said, "the energy release could damage the ships nearby. We could lose half the fleet." Sam arrived, out of breath from running. "Everyone back to the Endeavor. Now." "We can't just leave," Kate protested. "There must be something we can do." The ship shuddered beneath them. More cracks appeared in the walls. "That's an order," Sam replied. "Get to the airlock. All personnel." The team rushed toward their ship, passing Vrillith being transferred to other vessels. The crystalline aliens moved with a grace that belied their urgency. At the airlock, Sam made a decision that would change everything. "Kate, Alex, Daniel, get aboard the Endeavor. The rest of you too." He looked at Olivia. "You're in command until I return." "What are you talking about?" Olivia demanded. "I'm staying behind. I need to try something." Before they could argue, Sam turned to Zenith Cord, who had appeared beside them. "I need your help. Is there any way to manually vent the excess energy from the core?" "There is an emergency channel," the alien replied, "but it must be physically opened. No Vrillith would survive the radiation." "What about a human in a protective suit?" Kate stepped forward. "I'm staying too. You'll need an engineer." Sam started to protest, but Kate cut him off. "Not negotiable, Commander." After a heated argument, the plan was set. The Endeavor would move to a safe distance with most of the crew. Sam and Kate would remain with 3 Vrillith volunteers to attempt a desperate fix. "The release valve is here," Zenith Cord explained, showing them a schematic. "But the corridor leading to it is now flooded with radiation that will penetrate your suits in minutes." Kate studied the design. "We don't need minutes. We need seconds." She looked up. "If we reconfigure the portable shield generator from the Endeavor, we can create a bubble of protection long enough to reach the valve." "And then what?" Sam asked. "Then we'd run like hell." The plan was dangerously simple. The shield generator wasn't designed for this purpose, but Kate believed it could be modified to work. They had one chance. As the last humans boarded the Endeavor, Olivia looked back at Sam and Kate. 30 minutes. If you're not back at the secondary docking port by then, we're coming to get you." Sam nodded. "Fair enough." With the Endeavor safely away, they began their desperate work. Kate reconfigured the shield generator, while Sam prepared the emergency suits with extra radiation protection. The ship's systems continued to fail around them. Lights flickered and died. The temperature dropped as life support faltered. "Ready," Kate finally said, activating the modified generator. The blue field shimmered around it. "This will give us about 2 minutes of protection once we're in the high radiation zone." They moved quickly through the dying ship, following Zenith Cord's directions. The corridors grew hotter as they approached the core. Their suit sensors screamed warnings. "There," Sam pointed ahead. "The access panel." Kate deployed the shield generator. The blue field expanded around them, pushing back the deadly radiation. They stepped forward together, reaching the panel that controlled the emergency vent. It seized shut. Sam grunted, pulling at the manual override. Kate grabbed a tool from her belt. A simple crowbar she had brought from Earth. Sometimes the oldest tools work best. With brute force, they pried the panel open. Kate reached in, reconnecting wires and bypassing the damaged systems. 30 seconds before the shield fails, Sam warned. "Almost there," Kate replied, fingers working frantically. A loud hiss signaled success. Energy began venting from the core, stabilizing the reaction. "Run," Kate shouted, grabbing the shield generator as they sprinted back through the corridor. 1 month after the crisis, the Vrillith fleet had undergone remarkable transformation. Nearly half the ships were now operational, with the rest improving daily. But the greatest change had occurred between the two species. "Earth's governing council has approved your request," Sam told Zenith Corps during their daily meeting. 3 Vrillith representatives are invited to visit our planet while we continue repairs here. The tall alien's light pulsed with excitement. "This is unprecedented. No Vrillith has ever set foot on another species' world." Olivia, who had become the primary cultural liaison between humans and aliens, added, "We've prepared special environments that should keep you comfortable. The Council is eager to establish formal relations." The selection of which Vrillith would visit Earth caused much discussion among the aliens. They ultimately chose Zenith Corps and 2 others who had worked closely with the humans. The Endeavor would transport them while the repair work continued under Kate and Alex's supervision. As they prepared for departure, Sam noticed a change in how the Vrillith interacted with his team. The aliens had begun asking questions about human culture, not just their technology. "Your species lives separately, with individual minds," Zenith Corps observed. "Yet you work together despite disagreements. How is this possible?" Olivia smiled. "That's what makes us human. We're all different, with different ideas and approaches, but we can choose to work toward common goals. This chaos, it gives you strength we do not possess." The journey back to Earth was filled with preparations. Daniel created visual presentations explaining human society, trying to prepare the aliens for the overwhelming diversity they would encounter. "Your world has thousands of languages," Melody Wave, one of the Vrillith delegates, asked in disbelief. "How do you maintain unity?" "We don't always," Daniel admitted. "Humans fight and disagree, but we also build bridges across our differences." When news of the approaching alien visitors leaked to the public, reaction on Earth was mixed. Many greeted the announcement with excitement and wonder. Others responded with fear or suspicion. Security was tight as the Endeavor made its approach to the specially prepared landing facility. World leaders gathered to witness humanity's first official extraterrestrial diplomatic reception. Cameras broadcast globally as the tall, luminous beings emerged from the ship. Zenith Corps addressed the assembled humans, the translator converting the aliens' harmonic communications. "We came to your system as dying refugees. You responded not with fear, but with hands extended in aid. The Vrillith will remember this always." The following days were a whirlwind of carefully managed meetings and cultural exchanges. Scientists eagerly discussed technology with the visitors, while artists were captivated by the aliens' mathematical approach to beauty. Not all encounters went smoothly. During a tour of a manufacturing facility, Harmony Pulse, the 3rd Vrillith delegate, was visibly disturbed by what they saw. "You deliberately build components that will fail," the alien asked, observing a production line. The factory manager looked confused. "We build them to last a reasonable time while keeping costs down. But this is wasteful, inefficient." Olivia stepped in to explain. "Humans have different priorities sometimes. We balance durability against affordability, allowing more people access to technology." Through these cultural misunderstandings, both species began to learn from each other. The Vrillith were fascinated by human creativity and adaptability, while humans were amazed by the aliens' harmony and technological elegance. In a secure conference room, representatives from Earth's nations met with the Vrillith to discuss the future. Technical knowledge was exchanged, humans receiving advancements in energy and materials science, while the Vrillith learned about redundant systems and repair protocols. "Your species thrives on overcoming obstacles," Zenith Corps observed during one session. "The Vrillith evolved to avoid obstacles through perfect planning, but perfection becomes fragility when circumstances change." A United Nations representative nodded. "And that's why we needed each other. Your perfection and our adaptability together are stronger than either alone." As their visit neared its end, the Verleth made an unexpected request during a final meeting with world leaders. Zenith Chord's light pulsed with unusual patterns as they spoke. "We wish to offer knowledge of the stars beyond your system. But more importantly, we request something that only humans can provide." "What's that?" asked the Secretary General. "Teachers," the alien replied. "We need humans to teach us how to think differently." The repair work on the Verleth fleet took 3 more months to complete. By then, Earth had changed in ways no one could have predicted. Children played with toys modeled after the crystalline ships. Universities offered courses on Verleth mathematics and philosophy. The night sky held new meaning for humanity, who now knew with certainty they were not alone. On the day the fleet was ready to depart, a ceremony was held aboard the mothership. Humans and Verleth gathered in the great crystal chamber, which now pulsed with healthy light. Both species had decorated the space with symbols of their worlds, earth plants alongside glowing Verleth crystals. "The journey ahead is long," Zenith Chord addressed the gathering. "The Verleth still seek a new homeworld, but we do not travel alone anymore." Sam stepped forward, standing tall in his formal uniform. As agreed by Earth's nations, 20 human volunteers will join the Verleth fleet as advisors and representatives of humanity. Kate and Alex stood among the volunteers. After weeks of consideration, they had decided to venture beyond the solar system. 5 scientists, 7 engineers, 3 doctors, and 5 cultural specialists would travel with the aliens, forming the first human delegation to the stars. "You realize it might be years before you return," Olivia said to Kate as they embraced. Kate nodded. "Some of us might never come back, but think of what we'll learn out there." The Verleth had modified several ships to accommodate human biology. Living quarters with Earth-normal gravity and atmosphere had been created. Food production systems based on Earth plants had been established. It was a small piece of humanity that would travel among the stars. "This alliance benefits both our peoples," Sam said to the gathered audience. "Humans gain knowledge of the galaxy. The Verleth gain our perspective on problem-solving." Zenith Chord's light pulsed in agreement. "We called humans because we needed your chaos. Now we understand that this quality you call innovation is essential for any species to truly thrive." As the ceremony concluded, family members said tearful goodbyes to the volunteers. They would remain in communication as long as possible, but everyone knew that once the fleet left the solar system, messages would take longer to travel each way. Daniel, who had chosen to remain on Earth as the primary translator for future communications, approached Zenith Chord one last time. "I've been meaning to ask," he said. "How did you know to call humans specifically? There must be other intelligent species in the galaxy." The alien's light dimmed slightly. "We have encountered 18 spacefaring civilizations in our history. All were like us, evolved toward efficiency and harmony. None possessed your chaotic brilliance. And that's why you need us. It is why the galaxy needs you," Zenith Chord corrected. "Perfect order leads to stagnation. Your species reminds us that imperfection and adaptation drive growth." The departure time approached. The human volunteers boarded their designated ships. On Earth, millions watched via video feeds as the massive fleet began to glow with energy. Olivia stood on the observation deck of the space station that had been hastily constructed to monitor the Verleth departure. Beside her, Daniel worked to record the final transmissions. "They're sending something on all frequencies," he said, adjusting his equipment. "It's meant for everyone on Earth to hear." Zenith Chord's voice came through clearly, translated into dozens of Earth languages simultaneously. "People of Earth, you answered our call when we were strangers in need. You saved us with solutions we could never have imagined. Now we journey together, not as separate species, but as teachers to each other. Your chaotic brilliance will transform the galaxy in ways neither of us can predict. This is not an ending, but the first words of a story the stars themselves will long remember." The fleet began to move, thousands of crystalline ships accelerating in perfect formation. They glowed brighter as they passed Jupiter, then Saturn, their light gradually fading as they moved toward the outer reaches of the solar system. On Earth, humanity looked up at the night sky with new perspective. Schools taught children about the Vrilith alongside lessons about their own planet. Research teams worked to develop technologies based on the knowledge exchange. And everyone waited for the messages that would someday arrive from the stars, carrying news of human explorers and their alien friends. The universe had called humans to save a stranded fleet. In doing so, humanity had found its place among the stars, not just as another intelligence, but as the bearers of a unique gift: the ability to create order from chaos, to find paths where none existed before.